podcast you're about to listen to is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of horror movie fans who chose to listen to the Huge Horror Movie Podcast.
With your host, Killian Gore.
Can't seem to face up to the facts. I'm tense and nervous, can't relax. Can't sleep, bed's on fire. Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Far better. Run, 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 run away. Oh, 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 ay, 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 ay. Thank you very much. And put that down over there and probably lose the plectrum again. Excuse me while I just shove you over there. You're the microphone. That's who I talk to. And Happy New Year anyway. Happy New Year! Thinking there'd be a slightly better sound effect than that. Guess that's all we've got. Doing the show on the cheap, so cheap sound effects is what we've got for you today. Went a bit loud there. Just move the mic again. Anyway, yes, we're in a new year. We're in 2021. And I'm sure we're all hoping it'll be a lot better than 2020. So, or it could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
Maybe it's the year the aliens land. That's what I'm hoping for.
Anyway. Right, so, welcome to the Huge Horror Movie Podcast. I'm your host for the next whatever. I'm Killian Gore. And, we're doing Psycho. Did I just say that? I can't remember. We're doing Psycho today. Memory's no better this year. It's still quite bad. It's getting worse. So, you're Psycho. Yeah, I've got the movie in the BG, obviously, is Psycho. I mean, I could have gone with Psycho 2, which is... I think Tarantino prefers part 2, doesn't he? Part 2 is awesomeness, pure awesomeness. And 3 and 4, 3's okay, yeah. 3's very good. And 4's pretty good too. Let's not be negative this year. Well, I'm never negative. I'm just trying to say to you out there, because there's a lot of you I see on social media, I hate everything! So maybe this year, try to love everything. Yeah? Serious moment there. A very poignant moment. Do you say poignant? I do sometimes. Anyway, and I can hear the neighbours rustling around, probably wondering why I'm shouting Happy New Year. Can you hear the bin? He's doing the bins. Right. Why is he saying Happy New Year? He's gone off his rocker. Mother's gone off her rocker, hasn't she? A little segue into Psycho there. Excuse me if I make grammatical errors. I was just listening back to one of the older shows. And they kept saying transcript. Oh, it was something about transcribing. I think I said, are you transcripting the show? Which I think is the wrong word, isn't it? It's transcribing. Anyway, that's me and my bad grammar. Just read my books, you'll find plenty of examples. No, I make a funny there. There's some very good grammar, coupled with some bloody awful grammar. And spelling mistakes in abundance. No, I do try not to do that. I am, I do check them. But, I read other people's stuff and there's mistakes in it. From big authors. And there's errors. And they've probably got a team. I've not got a team, just Janine over there. You right, Janine, love? She's the guitar tech. She's not very good at it, are you, Janine? Hold on to that plectrum this time. You lost it last time. Right, we're going to kick off, because Psycho is, of course, one of the books I've done as a mini horror quiz. So I've got the Psycho quiz book here, which I love. I love the look of this one. Now, I think I've said this before. When I sometimes say, I like the look of one of my books, I'm not being big-headed. It's just like, sometimes it goes awfully wrong. And I don't like the look of it. Because I don't know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing. So in the Psycho quiz book, I've got a very controversial essay You should just have to buy the book for that, won't you? But it's called A Mini Essay in Defense of the Psycho remake. Oh, did he just say he enjoys the Psycho remake? Yes, he did say that. And I do. I could have put the remake on. And I'll tell you for why in a shorter, because you could read the whole essay. I'll read the little bit at the beginning. Okay, here we go. Okay, stick with me here. I know a lot of people will already be thinking, no, hell no, the Psycho remake is... Well, let's quote a few Internet Movie Database user comments. Utter garbage. A travesty. Bad, pointless remake. Why? And possibly the worst film ever made. But I'm afraid I have to disagree with you. Okay, I get where the hate is coming from, and it's completely understandable why some folk balk at the very thought of using the words remake and psycho in the same sentence. But I find the 1998 Psycho... Sorry, fumbling over the words again. 1998 Psycho, a fascinating movie to watch, and I always have. Now, Psycho is one of my favourite films of all time, and I've seen it over and over again. In fact, I'm watching it right now in the BG, and I'm very familiar with it, as I also was back in 1998. Along with what felt like the whole world, I was shocked to hear it was being remade, and I'm pretty sure I was primarily against the idea. Until I heard about Van Sant's intention to use the same shooting script and camera setups and do a shot-by-shot remake. Then my opinion changed pretty rapidly, and I became rather intrigued about the whole concept. Had anyone else done that before? As contradictory as it may sound, I thought that was a pretty unique idea. Doing something that no one has attempted before is actually a pretty bold thing to do. Van Sant could just have done what everyone else seems to do with remakes, mess about with things a bit too much until it becomes all but a remake in name only, and I'm sure you can think of plenty of examples. Black Christmas 2000, this year, or 2019 or 20? Yeah, you take a bow. What the bloody hell was that? Years before Vince Vaughn would slap a wig on, Van Sant said during a meeting at Universal, "What you guys haven't done is try to take a hit and remake it exactly. Rather than remake it and put a new spin on it, just remake it for the real, because I'd never seen that done before as an experiment. The whole thing seemed experimental to me anyway, so I..." Let's turn the page. "Thought, why not?" And they laughed. They thought it was silly, ridiculous, absurd, and they left. They said, "We won't be doing that." Of course, the reason they said they wouldn't be doing that is because of just how audacious an idea it really was. However, Van Sant then went on to have a big hit with Good Will Hunting, and the studio bigwigs changed their minds and decided to trust him. Oh, the allure of money, eh? The successful outcome of the experiment was speculated to be that a shot-by-shot remake would also mirror the initial film's financial success, dollar by dollar. It was going to be a pretty costly experiment with a $60 million budget. Blimey. But part of what Van Sant was testing was if it was possible to take all the same ingredients and create the same fine dining experience. He was pretty much playing with fire to test if lightning could indeed strike the same place twice. I went to my local cinema, aware that people were already sneering at the outcome of Van Sant's ballsy endeavour, but with my mind open, eagerly anticipating what I was about to witness on the big screen, and I absolutely loved it. I was watching a movie that I'd both never seen before, but which I had also seen before, and that was such a wonderfully bizarre viewing experience. In hippie slang, it was really trippy, man. Of course, for it to work its transcendental magic on me, it helped that I was very familiar with the original film. There was just no other film viewing event that rivaled this peculiar sensation, and there still isn't. There's more to that essay. You have to buy a book for that, wouldn't you? Hey, get your money out! Get your money out! Because I've read a lot of that, I'm not going to read the short story in there. Unless we could come back to that, couldn't we? Hey, we'll come back to that. I'll put it over here. I'll put it over there. Janine, you look after that book, will you? Thanks, thank you, love. Should do a sound effect with Janine. Make a note of that, Janine. You need a sound effect. I snorted then. Anyway, let's crack on with the quiz from the Huge Horror Movie Quiz Book. Psycho. Well, you know it's Psycho. Number 1. How much money does Marion Crane steal from her boss's client in the... It's right on the bloody page. I should have put Psycho on a new page, idiot. Her client in the first Psycho film. Is it, you got a choice here, $20,000, $40,000 or $60,000? I think I remember that. Like I say, I'm pretty familiar with it. Number 2, how many cabins and vacancies are there at the Bates Motel in Psycho 1960? Although it's probably the same in all of them. Numero 3, which frequent Hitchcock collaborator composed the iconic music score to Psycho? And number 4, according to the opening graphic text, which month is Psycho set in? I don't know why I'm laughing at that. Number 5, at which location does Alfred Hitchcock make a cameo appearance in Psycho? Right, there's the opening 5 questions. Boom, opening 5. Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll get some music involved. Do a proper one. I could do one on the guitar, couldn't I? I'm more of a keyboard player, really. I'm a piano player. But I've shoved that out of the way because it was taking up too much room, and it was also getting a bit weird. You know, it was just getting weird. It wasn't working properly. I have to get a new piano. Yeah, I've not played on the piano in quite some time. Oh well, I've played on a small piano. It's not the same thing, you know. A small keyboard, not a small piano. Do they? Oh, ka-ching! Did you hear that? We had a live Etsy sale. What have we sold there? And that's the noise it makes after. It's the horror movie crossword book. Good. I say good because I've been selling just too many of the serial killer one. I can't keep up. I keep buying them and they keep... I know I shouldn't... I'm sounding ungrateful that my books are selling. But, you know, it's a lot of work. I have to keep ordering them and then packaging them up and going post office. I've got no assistant. Janine won't do it. She's useless, aren't you, Janine, love? So, yeah, it's me. Muggins here. No, but do buy them. I'm not that bothered. It's something to do, innit? Slap me hand then. Not in a, like, bad Killian Gore, just because I accidentally caught it. Right, that's boring. Let's move on to... We're going to look at the... Idiocracy horror here, because I did on social media Idiocracy horror on Psycho. If you don't know what Idiocracy horror is, it's reviews I pluck from Internet Movie Database from users. You know, I've read some out in the show before. So yeah, I got the one from Psycho here, which was particularly weird. I literally thought Marion was going to be alive throughout. But instead, in the midway through the film, she was then killed by that weirdo's mother, who was a crazy old hag. I even would like to have seen her and that weird son become a couple if she didn't get killed off so soon. If Walt Disney were alive, we would share lots of reasons why this film is crap. So like the bizarre Disney reference at the end there. It's like, where did that come from? Yeah, I don't think that guy really... I think he was probably expecting a kind of When Norman Met Marion type comedy, like just a rom-com. That's the word I was trying to think of, rom-com. Yeah, not a rom-com. I don't know who he is who posted that review. I'm assuming he's male, because males are more stupid. We are, though, ain't we? Ain't we, guys? Ain't we, fellas? We seem to say more stupid stuff online. I don't do generalisations, but a lot of these reviews do seem to come from fellas. Anyway, let's go to the Internet Movie Database, because that's an old... why don't we do one for a Psycho 2, eh? Let's have a weird... Let's look at some of the weird reviews Psycho 2, which I think generally regarded as... maybe not as much of a classic. It's got a 6.5, but it's certainly highly revered amongst us horror fans. Arrow Video did it, didn't they, Psycho 2? I never bought the Arrow Video one, because I've got this great box set from Australia. I don't know who the company is there, Viavision or Madman. It was released a few years back. Looking for the date, which is boring podcasting, isn't it? It's always I do a lot of boring podcasting. I can't find the date. You don't want to know the date, do you? 2015, should we say? It's on some of the discs. Yeah, I think 2015. Yeah, but it was great, the complete collection, and you got everything in it. Including... somewhere, is it? I thought this had Bates Motel in it. Am I thinking of something else? Have I got another Psycho box set? Bloody hell, memory. I thought a Bates Motel was in here. Like I can't see it on the back. Let's have a look. Tense and nervous. Oh yeah, the Bates Motel TV movie. It just doesn't. I don't think it lists it on the back. No, it doesn't. Oh, it does, yeah. And that was the point. People stopped listening to the show. So I could say anything now because you're probably all gone, haven't you? He was just going on and on about trying to find if this Bates Motel TV movie was listed on a box. It was boring. So yeah, sorry, you've gone. I've lost my way. Do you know I've lost my way? Yeah, but that's a great. I got that from Australia, JB Hi-Fi or something. And it's a really good box set. So I've never really felt the need to buy any more Psycho Blu-rays. I've got them all in that. Apart from there's just done the last year did the uncut Psycho, didn't they? Which they weirdly didn't put on the box that it was the uncut version. And who knew all this time there was an uncut version of Psycho? Germany apparently had it, but we didn't. Germany took it away from us, and kept it locked in a safe or a dungeon, I think it was. That bit's fictional. But yeah, there's only I think it's 3 scenes, slightly extended, and that was Hitchcock's approved cut, I do believe, and then they trimmed it down, and somehow that just became the normal one. You know, it's strange, really, isn't it? That it's taken this amount of time, 40 years, isn't it? 40 years until we get the uncut version, which I still need to purchase. I will do. You know, it feels a bit weird because you're just buying a few. It's probably seconds, isn't it? I think it's seconds. Is it just anyway? We'll come back to that. Let's do the answers to those first 5. We were going to do Psycho 2. Psycho 2 reviews. Oh, I'm awfully sorry. Let's have a look. We're looking for 1-star reviews for Psycho 2. We'll pick the first. We just go with the first one from W. Forrest. Psycho 2 was a poor attempt at reviving a horror sensation. Although the directing was good and Tony Perkins was wonderful, the plot and most acting fell through. Fell through what? I was very disappointed that the film had nothing to do with the book of the same name by Robert Bloch. I was also shocked with the way Vera Miles was treated and her end in the film. The nudity and cheap effects were also a huge offset. Offset? This, that's not right, is it? This is nothing like Psycho, in brackets, that was probably their goal, and lacks suspense and romance. Yeah, because the first film was full of romance. This time around, I didn't feel bad for Norman, and the chick he took in... the chick, honestly, W. Forrest. Again, see what I mean? Probably a silly male. And the chick he took in, I thought, had it coming. The ending was horrible too. In the end, I give this film 0 stars. You didn't know I give it 1 because you can't give 0. I hope someday they remake it the way Robert Bloch intended. Unfortunately, Perkins won't return. Well, he's dead. In the end, this film was as worthless as the retard Gus Van Sant. As the retard Gus Van Sant's remake of the original Psycho. Blimey, W. Forrest, don't hold back. Retard, honestly. Some people came in optimistic. Oh, that's too long. Oh, there's only... well done, Psycho 2. Round of applause. Psycho 2 only has 3 1-star reviews. Good on you. Save your time from Berlin. Sorry, but watching this, it just wasted time. Big holes in the plot, and sometimes absolute inexplicable shots. Won't waste my time with more explanations. Oh. Well, you should have done. It would have been more entertaining, Berlin. Right, there's the Psycho 2 bad reviews. And let's pop along to the answers. Yes, I've just spied the first one, and I was right. The amount Marilyn took was $40,000, which I think was... I should have put this in brackets. I think, was it $1 million in the new one? Oh no. Bloody knowledge. It wasn't $1 million. No, it wasn't $1 million. Or was it? Or was it 400,000? Had they upped it to 400,000? Do you know what I'm sneakily trying to do? Trying to have a look. Oh yeah, it was 400,000. And number 2, how many cabins and vacancies? Of course, it's 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. Number 3, which frequent Hitchcock collaborator who did the music, basically. You all know that. Yeah, Bernard Herrmann. And the month in which Psycho was set was December, Friday the 11th. Which I'll do the little bit of trivia on that now, shall I? Or it might be in one of the books. I'll leave it. Come back to it. And number 5, at which location does Hitchcock make his cameo? He's outside the real estate office where Marion works. Marion now in the movie, in the BG, is just in the car there. It's that great close-up shot of her, where I've always thought she looks like she's smiling, doesn't she? Do you know what I mean? It's a strange moment. She almost has this strange expression. Like she's sort of there. She's starting to do it now. She's almost like quite pleased with herself for what she's done or something. Or she's just happy that she's escaped and got the money on her way to her impending doom at the Bates Motel. I'd love to go to the Bates Motel. It's a shame they took that one down from the TV show, innit, in Canada. They should have left it up for people to gawp at. Right, so... Gonna go to some incredible horror movie facts about Psycho here. Got quite a few to crack through. Do you say crack through? Psycho. Myra Jones was an actress who was Janet Leigh's... Oh, this fills our true crime remit. So, there you go. Done. Check. Ping! Myra Jones was an actress who was Janet Leigh's stand-in for Marion Crane on Psycho. In 1998... she was raped and murdered by her neighbour, Kenneth Dean Hunt, a man who was said to have been obsessed with the film, as well as Janet Leigh. It is believed that he intended to kill Janet Leigh's body double for the shower sequence, Marley Renfro, and for many years it was commonly thought that he had indeed murdered Renfro instead of Jones. Perhaps Hunt was unclear on the difference between a stand-in, used off-screen for technical reasons and lighting setups, and a body double, used on-screen to perform scenes an actor can't or won't do. Robert Graysmith, author of Zodiac, wrote a book trying to make sense of the whole mess called The Girl in Alfred Hitchcock's Shower. Not read it, but I love the film Zodiac, Robert, so thank you for birthing that. Oh, did you hear the air freshness? I keep meaning to get a refill for that. I don't know if it's just like spraying nothing now. It probably is. From director Steven Soderbergh, film director, Steven Soderbergh, edited together the original Psycho film with Gus Van Sant's shot-by-shot colour remake, creating a mashup of both films entitled Psychos. The shower sequence is a particular highlight as Soderbergh layers the two versions over each other, creating quite a visually stimulating experience. And another fact here, the description of Norman Bates in Robert Bloch's original Psycho novel differs quite considerably from how the character would go on to be portrayed in the movies. Bloch states that Norman had a plump face, rimless glasses, and thinning, sandy hair. And we've got a couple of bits of trivia here from Psycho 2. Anthony Perkins had originally declined to return in the role of Norman Bates, but when he heard they were going to go ahead without him, with Christopher Walken as Norman Bates, that's probably a question coming up, so remember that bit of trivia, he agreed to star in the film. Yeah, I think it was originally a TV movie when they were going to do Psycho 2, and then and with Christopher Walken. And because, Perkins was kind of annoyed that somebody else was going to be playing his part, he's like, no, I'll do it now. So when he said that, then it be thought, oh, we got the original star, let's make it a movie. So thus was born the theatrical hit Psycho 2. I think it was a hit, wasn't it? Let's just look at the box office numbers. On a small budget of $5 million, it got $34.7 million back. I'm still shocked that the Psycho remake was $60 million. What were you spending all that money on, Van Sant? Maybe it was like for an armed guard, around the set. All the people didn't want the remake. Psycho 2, sorry. Oh, I've done it, haven't I? No, I've not, sorry. Alfred Hitchcock makes a posthumous cameo appearance in the movie in the form of a shadow of his famous silhouette. It's on the wall in Norma Bates's room when Norman and Mary enter the room before turning on the lights. I remember that's one of those things I just saw myself. I don't know if you did. Did you? It wasn't something I read about and then seen. I just remember seeing it and thinking, that's got a shadow there from Davidosi. Right, there's the Ink Horror 1 facts. We'll come back to some more from Ink Horror 2. But we're going to do our next batch of questions now. Écoutez. Oh, no, I say écoutez for number 10, don't I? No, not 10. Oh, shut up, Gory. Number 6. What was Psycho, the first ever mainstream film to show on screen in the United States? Was it a man in a dress, a flushing toilet, or a human skull? Number 7. In some of the marketing materials for Psycho, what was Alfred Hitchcock's stipulation? It is required that you see Psycho blank. Blankety blank, blankety blank. If you're in America, you probably don't know what blankety blank is. Apologies. Check it out. You probably see it on YouTube. It's very funny when it was Les Dawson hosting it. So if you Google, not Google, put into YouTube, blankety blank Les Dawson, and just enjoy yourself for 5 minutes or so. I saw Les Dawson once in pantomime in Manchester, which was pretty cool. He did his little playing the piano wrong as well. So that's some pointless trivia you can write down if you're transcribing the show. There we go, got the word right. Hey. Number 8. Whilst at the Bates Motel, where does Marion Crane hide the money that she has stolen? And number 9. In Robert Bloch's Psycho novel, Marion isn't stabbed to death in the shower. How is she killed while showering? And numero 10, that's 10 for our English viewers. Not viewers, are you? Well, you could be watching it on YouTube. Listeners, if you're on Podbean. Years before the recent TV series... Oh, this is the true or false. True or false? True or false? Years before the recent TV series called Bates Motel, there was a 1987 Psycho spin-off TV movie called Bates Motel. True or false? It's obviously true because I was yapping on about that at the beginning of the show, wasn't I? Oh, that's a really bad true or false, isn't it? Spoilt by me. I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry. So there's our next 10 questiones, and at some point very soon we'll have the final 10 questions, and then you can all go home. Right. Oh, right, yeah, let's do the interview. We'll come back to Incredible Horror Movie Facts 2. Yeah, we've got a great interview from somebody from one of the Psycho movies. It is, and you might know his name, you might not. He is Jim O'Rear, who was an actor and a stuntman, a writer and a filmmaker. He was actually involved with Day of the Dead, the original. Could be a stuntman. I don't know. Oh, let's look this up. Sorry, everybody. Because I didn't really make it clear in the book. This is from What's Your Favourite Scary Movie? My book of interviews. He's Jim O'Rear. Oh, he's looking there. I can't remember seeing him, but he's a very happy-looking chappy on Internet Movie Database. I wonder if I still got him on Facebook, or is he like that other one that unfriended me? I remember him. Oh, well, he's an actor in a hell of a lot of movies. So what's his involvement in Psycho 4? I think he stunts in Psycho 4, isn't he? Let's just have Psycho TV stunt, uncredited though. That's a shame, isn't it? So let's look at what was it, something that's on my mind. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna look if Jim's still my friend on Facebook. Well, that other one no, it was never verified, was it? If if he shunned me. Jim O'Rear, Jim, where are you, Jim? I'm going to do you as an Irish Jim O'Dear, but Jim O'Rear. Oh dear, Jim O'Rear. Yeah, oh, we're still friends on Facebook. Okay. Right, so Jim, yeah, I'm going to do you as an Irishman because of your name. I don't know if you are. What's your favourite scary movie, Jim? I've gone blank on Irish accent. That's a that's a tough question. I could narrow it down to 4 favourites. The original 1968 Night of the Living Dead, the original Halloween, Phantasm, and John Carpenter's remake of The Thing. All very different from each other, but each of them had an impact on how I view the horror genre. I don't know what's happened to my accent there, Jim. That's quite alright. Who's your favourite horror movie director? Oh, another tough one. That's a tie between George Romero and John Carpenter. Both are very stylish in their approach to writing, directing and editing. And your favourite type, a subgenre of horror movie, Jimmy? I love creature features. I'm not really into slashers or torture films, even though only 2 of my 4 favourites listed above are creature films. I'll take a good monster any day. What's your favourite bad horror movie? Was there such thing as a bad horror? I actually like a lot of horror films that the general public would consider bad. One of them would be Bloodsucking Freaks, 1976. That's completely ridiculous, poorly acted, and there's nothing, and there's horrible production values, but it always stands out in my mind. I think, ka-ching again. Sorry, Jim. What have we sold? It's actually Princess Bride, because I've got some of Phoenix Hinkley books on Etsy too. Jim. Sorry, Jim. Carry on, Jim. It's completely ridiculous, poorly acted, and has horrible production values, but it always stands out in my mind. I think it's because it's a really dark comedy with statements about society that's disguised as a horror film. I like a lot of trauma stuff too. Their films could be considered bad by most, but they are a lot of silly fun. Yeah, they are, aren't they, Jim? What would be your favourite horror double feature driving choice, Jim? Oh, so many choices. I think it would have to be something silly and outrageous. Reanimator and Motel Hell could be fun. The remake of Piranha and Jaws could be a fun team up as well. Yeah, definitely, Jim. Who's your favourite horror movie killer, Jim? If we're talking series slashes, I'll lean towards Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Another fun killer as Leatherface. Yeah, he is, yeah. What's your favourite horror movie, creature monster, Jim? I think my favourite creature of all time is Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was the first horror movie I saw in a theatre when I was a kid, back in Dublin. No, I added that bit, Jim. It's okay. And the first movie I saw in 3D. He's always had a special place in my blackened little heart. Ooh. What's your favourite horror movie franchise, Jim? I think the Halloween franchise. There are good entries and horrible entries in the series, but I'll watch any of them at any time. Me too, Jim. Yeah, totally agree. What about Halloween 2, though, Rob Zombie? That one splits people, doesn't it? What's your favourite horror movie sequel? I thought Evil Dead 2 was a fantastic sequel, even though you could really look at it as a remake instead of a sequel. I also really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Of course, I could watch Phantasm 2 anytime as well. And what's your favourite horror movie remake? Definitely John Carpenter's The Thing. Behind that, I'd have to pick Dawn of the Dead, Piranha, My Bloody Valentine, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And your favourite horror television show? I don't know if The Twilight Zone could be considered horror, but it's kind of hard to classify that show. I love that series. Kolchak the Night Stalker is horror related as well, and I was a fan of that. And although it was horribly goofy, I loved Dark Shadows. My favourite though would be a series that was actually a comedy. That would be a series that was actually a comedy, but had monsters in it. The Munsters. Yeah. A lot of people in my book mentioned this Kolchak the Night Stalker, and I'd never heard of it. I I did look it up. Forgotten what it was now, though. Sorry, Jim, carry on. What's your favourite zombie movie? The original Night of the Living Dead. That's the movie that really got me interested in the horror genre overall. And finally, Jim, what has been your favourite Halloween costume? I love all Halloween costumes. That's my favourite holiday. I saw a kid dressed as Sam from Trick or Treat, though. That was awesome. Thank you, Jim. Off you go. That was Jim O'Reilly, everybody. Thank you, Jim. Yes, thank you. Very good interview there. Right, so let's. We're going to do the. I can do the facts just in case they clash with the final 10 questions. So we got Psycho again. It's well known that Psycho was inspired by the crimes of the butcher of Plainfield, Ed Gein. But what is perhaps less well known is that filmmakers Errol Morris and Werner Herzog, who you know from Nosferatu the Vampire, Fitzcarraldo, Grizzly Man, once conspired to make a film about Gein in which they intended to secretly dig up Ed Gein's mother. Perhaps when they realised the act would make them just as bad as Gein himself, they shelved the project. That's it. I thought there was more in that. Put that one over there. We're done with that. Let's just do. Before we go, no. We're going to do the final 10. Here's the final 10 questions, everybody. Number 11. Which of the Psycho movies did Anthony Perkins direct? You got it? Number 12. I'm telling you there was a note on that wheel from my dead mother. Is a line from which of the Psycho movies? Got that accent and the voice totally wrong, didn't I? It's very, very misjudged. I'm telling you there was a note on that wheel from my dead mother. That was slightly better. Should we do it again? Do take 3? No time. Which was the only one of the Psycho movies not to be filmed on the Universal Studios backlot in California. From my dead mother. No, that's worse. According to the events in Psycho 2, how many years has Norman Bates been incarcerated for after the events in the first movie? Is it, Akute, 20 years, 22 years, or 24 years? 15. Which actor portrayed the teenage Norman Bates in Psycho 4, The Beginning, 1990? 16. Which of the Psycho movies am I describing? Akute. That's where I do the Akute, isn't it? Keep slotting in Akutes unnecessary Akute. Oh, silly answer. Right, sorry, Akute. There's a musician, some nuns, a journalist, an ice chest, and a severed hand. 17. Before Anthony Perkins finally agreed to star in Psycho 2, which other actor was being considered for the role? Was it Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, or Christopher Walken? If you remembered, if you're listening properly, you should know that one. And number 18, which filmmaker directed the shot-for-shot remake of Psycho in 1998? Again, if you've been listening, you should know that one. I can't do all the questions at the beginning, then maybe I should. We change the format? Make a note. Janine? No, she's just a guitar tech. Don't write that down, Janine. Forget it. Which actor portrayed Alfred Hitchcock in the 2012 movie Hitchcock, about the making of Psycho? And our final question. At the very end of Psycho 4, the beginning, which sound effect tells us that the story may be far from over? But it was, though, wasn't it, sadly? You always hope there'd be a Psycho 5. I think I did a poster for that once, which I won't try and find. I seem to remember years ago, before Anthony Perkins had died, I think it was, that they were going to do Psycho 5, that it was in the works. And then, I've tried, you can hear me clicking there, Psycho 5, then I can find nothing about it. Is there a Psycho 5? No. Well, I know that, but I just remember reading something that it was in the works, and then I don't know where I read it, and it's not online. I think I was trying to find it for the Psycho quiz book as well, but maybe I dreamt it, because you sometimes don't know, do you, if things are dreams or reality. So you have that. where you're not quite sure if something was real or if it's actually just a dream memory. Or is that just me? No, it can't be just me. My God. There must be millions of you out there. It's awful, isn't it? So we was going to do some worms from the horror movie manual. Let's call them worms from now on. That'd be more fun, wouldn't it? So we got Bates Motel in here. Bates Motel, the establishment owned and run by Norman Bates in Psycho, with a little help from his deceased mother. The room rates are pretty good, and the linen is always clean, but things can get a little bit stabby in the shower. And Bates, Norman Bates, a fictional character from the Psycho movies and Bates TV show, Bates Motel TV show. Norman was the creation of writer Robert Bloch in it. I still don't know how to say that. In his 1959 novel Psycho, and was loosely based on the murderer Ed Gein. He was portrayed in the 4 Psycho movies by Anthony Perkins. Norman's hobbies include slightly heated conversations, taxidermy, cross-dressing, murder, and the disposing of dead bodies. There you go. There's probably more worms in the horror movie manual from Psycho, but that's the only one I bookmarked. I bet shower's in there, isn't it? Let's have a look. Oh, well, that reminds me, shower. That was our special guest. Shower. A place for cleaning oneself, where you are also likely to be stabbed to death, especially in an off-the-beaten-track motel. So yes, let's please be upstanding, everybody, for this is the original shower we brought in all the way from Universal Studios, California, Hollywood. It's the shower from Psycho. There it is. Thank you for coming to see us today. Is that all you do? It's interesting watching you, though. Well, yeah, seeing you at work. Is that it? That all you do? Alright, go away, that's boring. Okay, thank you. You know, it's quite weird, though, because just get these, obviously the sound effects are on YouTube for the guests. A little bit of trivia behind the scenes. And it actually says for this, shower sounds, white noise, relax and be calm. Now I ask you, is this really relaxing? I don't think it is. I've got a fireplace thing, a video with a... That's my impression of a fire. Is yours any better? Send it in on a postcard. And well, you can't send an impression in on a postcard. Well, you can try. Do that. Send your impression in on a postcard. Gore Towers, somewhere in Warrington, UK, England. I've lost my train of thought. As I've gone off on one. Just one movie I wanted to mention that I haven't. I've got it written down here on the checklist. Is Backlot Murders. Backlot Murders. Have you seen it with Corey Haim? Nearly said Feldman. I always get them muddled up, the two Corries. Corey. It is Haim. Yeah, it is Haim in that one. That's a little curiosity of a movie. I should have brought the box over. Oh, bear with me 1 second. I'm only going over here. I'm not gone. The backlot. Why do I have such an issue? Oh, it's from Code Red. It's great because it's got the Psycho house on the cover there with the stairs. That's where I really want to go and visit. Yeah, and it's got a commentary track from the director with the Demon Del Falco and Code Red's. Oh, the director is David the Demon DeFalco. And Code Red's Banana Man. Banana Man on the commentary. Yeah, so that's from Code Red. And I highly recommend it. Really, it's a cool film. It's all shot on the Universal Studios backlot. So it includes quite a few sets, such as Psycho, The Lost World, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think doesn't mention it here, but Oh, it does. Just read it out. The Lost World. Yeah, so I highly recommend that. I might watch that later. There we go. I'll put that over there. Oh, and there goes Marion. She's dead in the movie in the BG. It's that shot as it pulls away from her. She's lying on the floor there, face pressed on the tiles. It's a great shot. And still a shocking moment, isn't it, all these years later? Let's do the final 10 questions. The answers. Oh, you idiot, I've lost the place in the... I've taken out the bookmark. Right. 11, which of the Psycho movies did Perkins direct? It was, of course, Part 3, which he did a very good job of. And, and he apparently really relished directing it and being involved with the Part 3. He would... Because the Universal's tram tour thing would be whizzing through while they were filming it, and he'd wave to people. I think he'd chat to people, and he totally embraced being Norman Bates, which is great, isn't it? Because you can sometimes hear of actors who just pretty much doing it for the money and the heart's not in it. You could see Perkins's heart was totally in the character of Norman Bates. Sorry. I did turn away. Got a frog in my throat. I think I've covered everything. We have mentioned the Hitchcock film with oh no, that's an answer. Sorry. There's one thing I haven't done though. Sorry to tap the desk there, which maybe I'll come back to, although we're running out of time again. Oh, I'm panicking. Yeah, so he did Part 3. I'm telling you, there was a note on that wheel for my dead mother. I can't do it. Can't do it as well as Perkins. That's obviously why they hired him instead of me, although 83 I would have been 4, 5, 6. I would have been 7. I don't think that would have worked somehow. Do you? Although I would have been up for it though. They never got in touch. Probably didn't know who I was, did they? Number I'm telling you, there's a note from... Oh, I'll give it away with the answer. Yes, from Psycho. Oh no, hang on, 11. Yeah, sorry, 12. Yeah, 12 was Psycho 2. There's a note from my dead mother. I'm saying that too much, aren't I? I'm panicking. I'm panicking again. Which of these... The only Psycho film not to be filmed at Universal Studios, it was Part 4, which was filmed at Universal Studios, Florida. And of course, the new Bates Motel was Canada somewhere. British Columbia, was it? Oh, I can't leave things unanswered. So I'm just gonna check where Bates Motel was filmed. Is it in here? It was... outside Vancouver in Aldergrove, British Columbia, along with other locations within the Fraser Valley of British Columbia. There you go. You could look that up yourself. You didn't need me for that, did you? Right, so according to the events in Psycho 2, how many years has Norman Bates been locked up for? It was 22 years. And 15, who played teenage Norman in Psycho 4, is of course Henry Thomas, who's gone on to become a good old horror star himself, hasn't he, with Haunting of Hill House and all that. And the new one, Bly Manor, which was a bit ropey, wasn't it? Well, I know some people liked it. I never finished watching it, really. It was a very elegant show and everything. It just didn't grip me. I wanted all the ghosts in the back. Although I think there were ghosts in the background, weren't there? It just wasn't as obvious. I wanted more obvious ghosts. Sorry, I'm waffling. The movie I'm describing with the musician, nuns, journalist, ice chair, severed hands, of course, Psycho 3. We all know who was going to be in Psycho 2. It was Christopher Walken. We all know who directed the remake. It was Gus Van Sant, because I've already spoilt these. And who portrayed Hitchcock in the Hitchcock movie about the making of Psycho? Of course, Anthony Perkins. They're like spies in a week. You're not real FBI, are you? That wasn't a quote from it, but that was Anthony Hopkins. It's getting confusing. At the very end of Psycho 4, the sound effect was the baby crying, suggesting Norman's son may continue his legacy. And boy, I wish he did in the film world, obviously not in real life. I was going to do something from serial killer quiz book, but I'm not now. So there you go. That's the show. I do hope you've enjoyed listening. Please follow on whatever it is, Podbean or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and we'll just scooch the mic this away, because we will end with the outro song, same as the beginning song. A huge horror thanks for listening. I've been Killian Gore. Please, like I say, follow and all that, and like and whatever. Whatever else you can do to support the show. So, thank you for listening. Can't seem to face up to the facts. Tense and nervous, can't relax. Can't sleep, bed's on fire. Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?